Let's start. I know yesterday you find something little difficult related to the sessions and yeah. So who is any student newly joining into the session? Okay. So now let's get started. So before I proceed into the main concepts of Terraform, Docker and Kubernetes and Jenkins, let us see what is the software development lifecycle, and then we will understand the main point of why we need to go for Jenkins, why we need to go for Terraform, why we need to go for Docker and Kubernetes, so that you will get a clear picture of what is happening in the actual what I can say, whenever you are working in the industrial environment, what is happening. So those who are attending newly to this session, hello everyone. I am Chaitanya. I will be the trainer for your next 45 days of session, 35 to 40 days of session. Okay, whatever AWS and DevOps that we are getting training on that. So we will be discussing about totally about AWS.
Chaitanya, you are muted.
Just give me 2 minutes. I got a call from my office, so I'm attending to that. Just 2 minutes. Okay, so now, sorry for the disturbance. Now the point is, yeah, welcome to Docker and Kubernetes, especially the Terraform and Jenkins platform, which we are going to discuss in the next upcoming 30 to 40 days of session. Okay, I am Chaitanya. I am having my certifications towards the Kubernetes and AWS related certifications. Now that's about my introduction, and I am having 13 years of experience into IT industry. Currently, I am working as a DevSecOps engineer level 5 consultant in a top MNC company. It is somewhere equivalent to lead position. So that's about my introduction. Now, when we coming back to the main concept of what we are going to discuss, what is the main platform that we are going to understand, that we are going to analyze. So the first and foremost thing what we are going to do here is, let us see what is this software development lifecycle. If you understand the software development lifecycle, then it is very easy for us. Then it is very easy for us to understand what are these tools working for, and how we are going to work with these tools, whatever the Terraform and Docker and Jenkins that we are discussing. Okay. So now everyone, so there might be certain people who are coming from the software background. There might be some people who are coming from the data analysis background. So here, what is the software development lifecycle? For each and every person, it is very important who are working into the IT industry. So before I go into the main concept, let me ask you a question. So here, how many people are willing to purchase a car? How many people are willing to purchase a car? Yeah. If you already have, that's very good. I'm just asking how many are interested in purchasing a car, or else how many are interested in purchasing a what I can say, bike. So how many of you are interested? Come on, guys, speak out. Yeah, Madan. I think Madan is the only one who is continuously speaking out. But any which ways, I want the persons who are interested. Come on, it's like an interaction session. Let us see what is your view on that. You can rent and use it. Very good. That's one kind of thing. That is also a point. That's fine. So if you want to purchase a small gadget, okay, for example, if you want to buy a mobile, okay, I don't want to go with a car, but let me do one thing. If you want to purchase a mobile, first of all, what you are going to do, just assume that you want to purchase an iPhone 16 Pro, okay, or else anything related to iPhone, or else any another mobile. First, what you are going to do, come on, type it on the chat box, or else at least you can give me the response on this.
Yeah, first we will check the cost of mobile.
Research. You are going
Yes.
to do the research on the mobiles. What is the cost? What is the software that we are using? I mean, which platform the mobile is built, and what is the camera model? So everything you are going to do, and then what you are going to do after researching that, then you will plan to purchase it. Okay, so whether my budget is sufficient to purchase that particular mobile, or else in that particular range, or else in your particular budget, what is the exact mobile that you are going to get. You are planning according to that, and later what you are going to do, then you are not going to directly purchase it, then you are going to test the mobiles. So if any of your friend is having that mobile, then you will take the mobile and test it and check out what are the drawbacks, and you check out what are the best features in that mobile. Everything you are going to do that, and later what you will do, and then you will purchase it. Okay, so the software development lifecycle will also work in the same procedure. What is the procedure? So after purchasing, the most important thing is maintenance. Okay, purchasing of mobile is not important. How you are maintaining that mobile is important. If you don't maintain the mobile in a proper manner, then the mobile will go. I mean, then the mobile will be hanged out. Then the mobile will, I mean, it will get into the troubles, and you will not be able to access the mobile after 1 year. So maintenance is also very important. So in the same manner, here also, whenever we are developing, first of all, what is going to happen? You are from the IT industries, right? Whoever are attending to this session, all are from the IT industry. I have a question. So who will be your clients who are from the IT background? Can you tell me who will be your clients for this IT company? End user. End user is a client. Okay. Who will be the user, or else who will be the client for this IT company? For example, there is an IT company called as PVT Technologies. Okay, this is the IT company. So for this IT company, in this IT company, we will develop the applications. We will develop the Java based applications. We will develop and we will test it. It's completely a product based company. So for this, end user is not the client. So for example, there is a banking sector is there. Bank is there. Okay, for example, SBI, or else HDFC, or else any another national banks are there. So in the banks, you won't find any IT people who can develop the application. So this banking sector people will come to the IT industry requesting for preparing an application. So when this bank approach to the IT industry, what they are going to ask, okay, so actually our end users, whoever are the customers of that particular bank are there, they are facing a lot of trouble when they want to transfer the amount. Why? Because see, nowadays everything is into the mobile. So every bank is having the application, every bank is having the wallet, every bank is having the international banking accounts and everything like that. But if you go back to some 2010 and 2015, at that particular time, we don't have this banking applications this much handy for us. We don't have the internet banking. We don't have the wallets like whatever the Paytm models. For Axis Bank, you are having an Axis Bank wallet. For Kotak, you are having Kotak Bank wallet. For SBI wallets are there. So wallet banking is also available for each and every bank. But previously, when you go back to some 2010, at that particular point of time, nobody knows what is this internet banking is all about. Of course, there might be a few banks that are implemented at 2010, but majority number of the banks doesn't know what is this internet banking. So now, if you come back to 2025, everyone in their hands, they can transact the amount, they can get the money back. So digitalization was very immensely changed the entire world perspective of looking into the applications. So this bank will come to this IT industry and request the developers or else the CEO asking that we want to have an application. So then the high-end professionals, what they are going to do is they will conduct a meeting. So there will be the development team. There will be this development team. So this development team, whoever are from the developers, so they are going to the head of the development team and testing team and somewhere like DevOps team, everyone will be sitting together and discussing about the requirements. So they are going to gather the requirements. So they will do research and analysis of the user requirement. User is asking to develop certain microservices. So I want retail banking. Okay, retail banking in the sense customer banking. So one-to-one, only a single customer will open the banking account, that is called a savings account. So those are all comes under the retail banking. And then company banking, or else what I can say, corporate banking. Corporate banking in the sense the company's accounts will be there, like current accounts will be there. Current accounts and savings accounts will comes under the retail. Current accounts will comes under the corporate. So like that, they want to open certain corporate banking. So I want a corporate service. I want a retail banking service. And again, inside the retail banking service, I want a few more microservices like user banking, okay, and user login, user authentication service. And then I want bank information service. And then I want, user information service, whatever the user want to do, what is his user account details and everything he want to know about that, then that will comes under the user info service. And later wallet service, and later bill payment service. Any bills he can directly pay through the internet banking itself. So these are all the services they request us to develop. So in the corporate, again, related to the corporate, you will have those services. And they will ask us to develop the wallet service. So these are all the services that are requested by the bank. So now what developers will do, developers will completely analyze the requirements and they will create a just an infotainment, or else they are just going to create an outline for the entire project. Okay, when they create, these are the requirements. So the console should be looking like this, the graphical information like should be like this, the icon should be like this, everything they are going to develop. Now once they have developed, the application is created by the developers. So there will be front-end developers in the development team. There will be front-end developers. There will be front-end developers means UI developers, and there will be UX developers, user experience kind of things like generating the icons, or else what I can say, creating certain images. So these are all the works of the UX team. And UI team may mainly focus on the front end. So for example, if I take an ICICI Bank application, let me show you that. ICICI Bank application. In this ICICI Bank, so this logos and whatever you are seeing the images over here, these are all the work of UXT. And this, whatever the coral, okay, whatever the moving pictures are there, and as well as this particular search box and the different ribbons here, different modules here, login format, these are all the work of your front-end developers. So they might be running this, or else they might be writing this code in the React or Angular, these kind of tools that they are going to use and develop the front end. And UX team is going to develop the icons, and then you will have the backend team. So in this backend team, what you will have in the backend team, you will have the developers related to Java. If it is a Java application, there will be developer from the Java background. Or else if you are writing the code in the Python, then there should be Python developers will be there. So these are the who are working here. These are all the backend developers. And then we will have the database team. Okay. So who is going to monitor the databases? So they will comes under the two teams like VBA and DBMS. These are the two teams who will be working in the company. Okay, so related to the databases, certain times there will be only one single person who will be handling the entire databases. So what is going to happen when the bank approaches, the development team will totally understand the requirement and they start generating it. So after generating the application, where the actual application has to run, so the front end, back end, and databases, where these applications should be running. Tell me where this application, whatever the front end, back end I have discussed, where these applications will be running. Developer has developed their application in their laptop. Okay, once they have developed the application in their laptop, where this application should run. Tell me, guys.
Servers.
Sorry? In the
Servers.
servers. Exactly. So these servers, whatever the servers that we have discussed, these servers, VMs or all servers, these servers will be handled by the operations team. Okay, here comes the main problem. What is the problem? If you are working, so operations team main work, what is the main work of operation team? When you go back to some 2010 or else 2005, at that particular time, this operations team, they are also known as system administrators. System admins. Okay, so I'm from the system administrator background. Anyway, coming back to the point. So the system administrator work is to create the server. Create the server in the sense, first of all, in the on-premises environment, just forget about the cloud environment. So he has to purchase the server, and later what he has to do, he has to install the operating system, install the OS, it might be the Linux OS, and later what he has to do, he has to go for creating network for that server and then installing the necessary softwares, dependencies or softwares for running the application. And later, what is my requirement? After doing that, installing network, creating the network is done. And when you are creating the network, you need to purchase the firewalls, routers, switches. Okay. Switches, networking switches. And then what else? Configuring the network, like access points. These are all the work of your administrator team. And later monitoring the servers. This is the main and most important thing, monitoring the servers. Okay, monitoring the servers in the sense, what is the CPU utilization, what is the RAM utilization, what is the storage utilization, how much network is utilized, everything, what is the bandwidth utilization, everything has to be monitored by the system administrator. Now, this is the hectic task when you come to the on-premises environment. What is the hectic task here? Getting the servers. You have to purchase the servers, physical servers, which will be costing you around some 2 to 3 lakhs. Okay, and then you have to install the operating system, and then you have to create the network. And so when you are having these many number of works before installing the application, before running the application, then it is a hectic task for us to overcome all these problems. Now we gone through a concept called as cloud. Okay, we have went through a concept called as cloud. So what is going to happen? This work of system administration has been relieved. So the system administrators are there, still system administration is there, but still what is happening? The servers are not created in the on-premises environment. Why? Because of I cannot scale up the servers immediately. If there is a huge traffic is applied on the application, for example, I am running an application in a server. Okay, there is a single server in which I am running the application. This is my server. Inside this, I am running my application. Now, as of now, only 100 clients are connecting to this application server. Only 100 clients are connecting to this server. Now, suddenly what happened within a short span of time, as the application has grown up very well, so some 10 lakhs requests are hitting to that application. At a time when 10 lakhs requests are hitting to the application, the server will not be able to process those requests. So what I have to do now, I need to immediately increase the number of servers. In the on-premises environment, it is not feasible and it is not immediately going to happen. To increase the number of servers, it will not happen immediately. So scaling of the servers is very difficult in the on-premises environment. So this is one of the drawback. And then we need to install all the application, everything. It is becoming so difficult for us. So to overcome all these problems, we have went through the cloud environment. In the cloud environment also, we need to create the servers manually. So instances, EC2 instances related to the AWS. That's fine, Anupam. That's correct. Okay, so renting of the car is very easy than purchasing a car. Okay, so that's why we are going into the cloud environment where we are going to rent the servers. Okay, so in the cloud also we need to create the servers manually. So this manual creation is becoming a very difficult task for the DevOps engineers. So to overcome this problem, whatever the problem that we are facing here, like manually creating the servers, accessing the servers, and logging into AWS account, and then creating the VPC manually, and then we have to create the subnet. So if you want to create an instance in AWS environment, what we have to do, we need to create the VPC. And the second one is we need to create the subnets. We need to create the routing table. Okay, we create the routing tables, and then we need to create internet gateway, and then security groups, and then we have to install the server or else install the instances. When you are creating the instances, again, what is your requirement? You need to select the AMI, and later you have to select the instance type. Okay, instance type. Manually you have to do all these things, and later what is the requirement? Instance type key pair. Okay, and then you have to go with what is that? Subnets, and then you have to select the security group. So here, when you are creating the instances, you have to take this much care. So this is the main problem. Manually, we are creating all the resources. So I don't want to create them manually. I want to write the code. For writing the code, it will take some 1 day of time. But if the code is written for creating the resources, we can use the code. So to write this code, it will take some 12 hours of time. But once you have written this code, whatever the code that we have written, whatever the code we write, we can reuse it. Okay, we can reuse it. So if you want to create one more infrastructure with the same code, you can do that. Just we are not going to hard code any values. Everything will be variabilized. So how we are going to create this? What is the main tool that we are using? We are using a tool called as Terraform. So to create your infrastructure, we are going to use a tool called as Terraform, and this will comes under infrastructure as a code. So IAC, infrastructure as a code. We are going to write the code, and with the help of this code, we are going to generate the infrastructure so that we can create the VPC, subnets, and whatever we want, we can create through the code itself. It is very easy for us. So this burden won't be there. Which burden? Creating the servers, maintaining the servers, installing the operating system, creating the network, installing the necessary. We have to do the installation of necessary softwares. But this headache won't be there. Firewall switches, configuration, monitoring of the servers has to be done. Rest of the things won't be there. Okay, so this is the main advantage of going with creating the servers in the cloud. And these servers, whatever the instances that I said you, these servers are virtual machines. These are going to be created with the help of a tool called as Terraform. Each cloud is having its own infrastructure as a cloud tool. For AWS, the tool which we are going to use here is CloudFormation. In AWS, we are having a concept, or else we are having a tool called as CloudFormation. With the help of CloudFormation templates, there is a service in AWS that is called as CloudFormation. With the help of CloudFormation templates, we can create the infra in AWS. This CloudFormation templates are only used for the AWS environment. But when you go to the Azure, we are having ARM templates. Okay, there is ARM templates. ARM service is there, Azure Resource Management Service. So here we are going to create ARM templates, and with the help of these ARM templates, we can create the infra in Azure. But whatever the Terraform that we are using, this Terraform can create the infra in any of the cloud. Either it might be AWS cloud and as well as on premises also. On-prem VM virtual machines can be created with the help of Terraform. So that is the main reason why I am going for the Terraform concept. So the first topic that we are going to cover in this, whatever the entire sessions that we are going to cover, Terraform, Docker and Kubernetes, and we are going to cover the Jenkins. In that, we are going to learn the first one is Terraform. So with the help of this Terraform, what I can do, I can automate the creation of infrastructure with the help of the code. Okay, so now if you can see here, what is the pipeline? Here, as a DevOps engineer, I am going to write the code in my laptop, or else I am going to create my code in the laptop, and I will push the code into the GitHub. So which type of code I am going to write? I am not going to write something like software development code. So which type of code I will write? I will write the Terraform code. I am going to write this Terraform code and I will push the Terraform code into my GitHub. Okay. So this is one of the case. Once I have pushed the code into the GitHub, then what we have to do? So with the help of this code, I can generate the infrastructure. I'm going to generate the infrastructure. So in my AWS environment, I'm going to use the AWS cloud. AWS infra can be developed with the help of whatever the Terraform code that I have pushed into the GitHub. And later, once the infra is created, infra in the sense servers are created, then what we can do, we can analyze the application creation and all the things. So this is for the Terraform. So once the infra is created, I can install Docker onto the servers. Whatever the infra that I have created, whatever the infrastructure that I have created, I am going to install Docker on those servers. What is Docker? Docker is a containerization platform. And this Docker will be maintained by your Kubernetes, whatever the containers that are created. Containers are like small kits. Okay. So in your, for example, if you are a trainer, or else if you are a teacher, or else if you are residing in a home where there are little kids are there. So like somewhere like 5 to 10 years, or else between 1 to 5 years, kids are there. They will do so many things, mischievous things. So they will throw out the objects, a lot of things will be done. So to manage those kids, there should be a monitoring person should be there, like parents, mother or father, someone who should be there to monitor the kids. In the same manner, whatever the Docker containers that we are discussing, these Docker containers will be like an kids. Okay, sometimes what happens, the application will be running, suddenly the container will be deleted because of heavy load. So I don't want that application downtime. Okay, I don't want the downtime for that application. So if the container is deleted, then obviously the application inside the container will not be running. So there should be someone who should be monitoring those applications. Suddenly, if the container is deleted, automatically new container should be creating. There should be someone who can create the new container. And if there are lot of containers, there is heavy load on the application, there should be someone who has to increase the number of containers. And these can be done with the help of a tool called as Kubernetes. the same infra, what I can do with the help of Kubernetes, I can create the pods. I can manage the entire containers of your Docker. And these are all the things can be managed with the help of a tool called as. These are all the things that can be managed with the help of a tool called as Jenkins. So we are going to create the Jenkins server. With the help of Jenkins server, we are going to manage the application. I mean, we are going to manage the infrastructure, and this will be connected towards your GitHub. Okay, so if I make any changes in the infrastructure code, automatically Jenkins will understand, okay, there is a change in the infra code, so I need to add one more server. It will add one more server, and then it will, I mean, if at all any Docker to be installed on those servers, Docker will be installed, and then the Kubernetes will be running, will be monitoring those servers. So this can be happened. So this is the CI/CD pipelining tool which we are going to create for running the application. There are certain changes that we need to make. We will do that. But as of now, whatever the tools that we want to cover, we have covered in this particular CI/CD pipeline. So can we automate to create infra by using Jenkins job? Can you please cover the topic? We can automate to create infra by using Jenkins. So I hope you got your answer for your question, Ajit. By using Jenkins, we are going to manage the entire infra. Okay.
Okay. One question.
Hmm.
Okay, so we are using the Jenkins, right? I can see some of my team members are using the Tekton pipelines. So what is the difference between Tekton and Jenkins?
See, both are the CI/CD kind of thing itself. Okay.
Okay.
If I have to say, you can use the GitHub action also. Okay. One second. So both are the same. Either you can use the CI/CD. It's an open source. Tekton pipelines are also open source frameworks. Okay, that can be used to go for the CI/CD pipelines with Kubernetes cluster. So if you want to run with the Kubernetes cluster, you can use the Tekton pipelines. But this is for the entire infrastructure related kind of thing. So Tektons are you only use it for Kubernetes cluster configuration. Okay, so that's a Kubernetes custom resource configuration pipeline. It is not like Jenkins. It is only for the Kubernetes environment. Okay, if you want to create an application, if you want to pull the application, it is just like an GitOps, like an Argo CD. If you make any changes in the application, how GitOps is going to work in the same manner, Tekton pipelines are also going to work in the same fashion. It might be a little bit confusing for you, but when you go into the same, like when we are trying to explain you about the GitOps, then you will understand what is the main functionality of the Tektons also. So the Tekton pipeline is same like GitOps. So if you make any changes in the application repository, so the pipeline is going to understand that there is a change in the code repository. So I have to pull the code. I need to generate the application. It is going to generate the application, and then what I can do with the help of Helm charts, I can convert that build and I can run the application in the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so but when you come to the Jenkins is used for everything. So it is only precisely used for Kubernetes, but when you come to the Jenkins, it is used for everything, like pulling the code and building the code. Here I have not included Maven. I did not include the SonarQube. I did not included the what else, Ansible. So if you take all the DevOps tools, you can integrate Jenkins with anything. Okay.
Okay, can you please explain the topic again? Why we are using the Docker and Kubernetes over here? Because Docker we are creating the containers, and Kubernetes is managing the containers. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay, what is the part of the Jenkins? Like, what is doing? Can you please explain it again?
And Chaitanya, one through, right? As per the architecture diagram, right? We created one Terraform file and pushed in the GitHub, right? And here, right, AWS infra. So it's a manual process, right? We need to create AWS infra, or maybe Jenkins job will be triggered to create AWS infra.
No. So here the AWS infra, whenever you push the Terraform into the GitHub, So that's why I have given Jenkins will monitor the GitHub, like you are having webhooks operations there in the GitHub. So whenever you push the code automatically, Jenkins will understand a new kind of code has been uploaded. So the Terraform code we are uploading, no? So then the Jenkins will understand there is a change in the AWS infra. So I have to make the changes in the AWS infra. Automatically, Jenkins will do the changes. So if there is a new server added in the Terraform cloud, so then what it is going to do, I will push it into the GitHub. Previously, I am having only one instance into the AWS infra. Now what I have done, I have made a change that two instances should be added into the AWS infra, and I pushed them into the GitHub. There is a change from the previous commit to right, whatever the new commit we have, there is a change. So when there is a change, the Jenkins is going to understand with the help of webhooks, then automatically it is going to remodify the AWS infra. Remodify in the sense it is going to add in one more server into the AWS infra. Okay, we are not going to do anything. We have to make the changes in the code. We are not going to do anything manually. Once we make the changes in the code and push the code into the GitHub, the rest of the things will be taken care by the Jenkins. It is going to run the application, run the Terraform code, and if there is any problem, it is going to throw us an error. If there is no problem, automatically it will increase or scale up the infrastructure or scale down the infrastructure. That is the work of Jenkins. So our work is to just to modify the code, modify the changes, update the code. These are our works. Rest of the thing can be taken care by your Terraform and Jenkins.
And after that, you are using a Docker and Kubernetes. So Docker, it's a registry or maybe it's a container?
It's a containerization platform. It is a containerization platform where we created the servers. Why we have created the servers? What is the necessity of creating the servers with the help of Terraform in AWS environment? So those who has asked me the question.
So may I ask one?
So I am asking.
Yes, sir.
One second. I will come back to you. Write down your question. I will come back to you.
Sure.
So why we created the server with the help of Terraform in AWS infra? What is the necessity for me? So those who has asked me the question, can you please answer this? Who asked me the question here? Anupam or Madan? Who is that? Anyway, choice. I'm coming back to your. Tell me.
So is actually we create the infrastructure through the Terraform, right? In the manual, like existing. Whatever we create in the like manual, we can't do that. So through the Terraform, actually we're creating the infrastructure in cloud. So
that is fine, but why we are creating the infra in the AWS environment? What is the necessity of creating the infra? See, if you purchase a laptop, why you want to purchase the laptop? Without the need, you will purchase the laptop.
Yes, I need. Yes, I have some needs. Yes, correct.
So in the same manner, if you create an infrastructure, why you are creating the infrastructure? There should be a necessity, right? We want to run the application in the server. But running the application directly on the server will impact my business. So what is that impact? I will tell you when we go for the Docker and Kubernetes. So this Docker will resolve the issues that directly installing the application onto the server. We are not going to do that. With the help of Docker, we are going to have an isolated environment where we are going to create the containers. On the top of containers, we are going to run the application. When we are running the application inside the container, it is very easy for us to scale up the application and scale down the application. So containers will be created with the help of Docker, and these containers are maintained by the Kubernetes. Is your question is answered? Hello. Okay, Anupam, you asked me the question.
Yes, yes, sir. Sorry for disturbing. So
okay.
here, sir, you have described the CI/CD pipeline for deploying the Terraform code, right?
Not only the Terraform code, entire application process I have shown you. Yeah, go on.
Okay, yes, sir. So just one clarification. If I have a Spark Scala code, okay, and we have been doing the development on Spark Scala code, and then we have to deploy that code into Kubernetes cluster. So, sir, what will be the CI/CD pipeline for it, and where will be the Terraform involved in that?
Here we don't have the Terraform. If you are directly implementing on the Kubernetes, we don't have the Terraform implemented into that. Okay. See,
Okay,
why I'm including the Terraform in this GitHub, I mean, whatever the pipeline that I am showing you here, we have a session for covering the Terraform also. Right now, it is also an important tool that we have to use. So I'm including the Terraform into your learning process. Okay, but actually what happens when you develop your application, you can directly upload into the GitHub, and from the
Yes.
GitHub you can convert that into an image with the help of Docker, and that image
Docker.
can be pushed into the private repository, and from the private repository again you can create the pods in the Kubernetes, and this Kubernetes will run your application. So here
Yes,
we
sir, this
don't have
pipeline
any infra.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. This pipeline I was asking. Yes.
Hmm.
The Spark code will be pushed into GitHub. From the GitHub, it will, the Docker image will be created by Docker. Then Jenkins will automate it and push it into Kubernetes, right, sir?
Yes.
And
But
sir,
one thing I want to ask you, where this Docker is installed? You push the code into the GitHub. That is fine.
Yes, yes,
You
sir.
said that we can convert the code into an image format. That is also very good. But how you are going to convert the code into an image format? So there should be the
By
Docker, right?
Jenkins? Yes, yes.
No, there should be the Docker, right? So where this
Yes, yes.
Docker application, where this Jenkins applications are installed?
On the server, sir, because they Docker and there will be a Docker
On
server.
the
There will be
servers
a
only, right?
Jenkins server. Yes.
So on the servers, in the sense, you need to have the infra, right? So if you want
Yes,
to have
yes.
the infra, you need to have the Terraform, right?
Right, right. So, sir, this Terraform will not be, initiated every time because, for example, once we have created the infrastructure by using Terraform, this will be, for example, I'm deploying the code every time. I'm a developer. I'm changing the Spark code and I'm deploying the code into Kubernetes. Okay. So, in this case, I will not be running the Terraform every time. Am I right?
You can simply put an exception over there. Once the code is generated, once the Terraform or else Terraform is
Yes.
generated in the
Yes.
Jenkins, you can say that, do I need to create the infrastructure? You can set up yes or no variable. If you give no variable, directly it will go into the Docker, and the Docker will run the application, and it can go ahead into the Kubernetes format.
Yes, yes, sir. This was I was asking because Terraform is creating the infrastructure, but I don't want to create infrastructure every time. I'm a developer. I want to develop the code and create the Docker image, run it into Kubernetes cluster, and test it every time. So for this, I think Terraform will not be required every time. Am I right?
Yeah, that is what I said. Whenever you are
Yes, yes.
initiating your Jenkins pipeline, you can simply say that I don't want to install
Simply.
or else create the infra. If you
Right,
give that,
sir.
automatically it can remove the Terraform. I mean, it can neglect that, and then it will directly go into the next stage. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. And so one more
Right.
thing, in deploying the code to Kubernetes, there's a one more Helm chart is also there. So where
Helm charts will be available in the Kubernetes. When we discuss about the Kubernetes topic, there I will include the Helm chart, STO service mesh, and then GitOps, HPA, VPA configurations. There are so many things that we have to discuss. So this is just an outline how we are going to work with our entire session flow. I'm just giving the session flow. It is not the CI/CD pipeline. It is just a session flow which I am giving you.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Because I'm
So
trying. Yes, sir. Because I want this thing because if these things are covered, that will be useful for me. So
yeah,
for that reason, I have asked this question. Helm chart and all these things will be covered, sir.
everything will be covered. Helm chart, STO
Oh.
service mesh, and then HPA, VPA configuration, GitOps, and GitOps in the sense Argo CD can be covered. And then we will be discussing more in detail about ingress controllers, storage configuration of Kubernetes. Each and every point of Kubernetes will be covered. Don't worry about that.
Okay, okay, sir. So, sir, all this means Kubernetes, all the details, Docker and Terraform, all these things will be in detail. It will cover where we have, when we have to use the Terraform and how we have to deploy the code into Kubernetes by using Helm chart. Everything will be covered, sir, in this.
Yeah, everything will be covered in the sessions from the basics to the advanced level.
Okay, 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 okay. Thank you, sir. And
Thank you.
sir, and the CI/CD pipeline also with the one general code. Will it be covered?
Yeah, I will try to show you a project which will be building the entire Terraform, and then which we can install the application, and then we can work it out. Okay. I will give you a
Yes, sir.
project kind of thing.
Yes, sir. So one with the Terraform and one with a simple, Spark code or any code, any Java code, anything where we develop the code, push it into GitHub, and then Docker image created, then Kubernetes.
That we will see. That you will see at the end of the sessions. Not right now. It is not the correct time to discuss about that. But yes, you will get a project related to whatever your requirements are. Okay.
Yes, sir, because my requirement, if these things CI/CD pipeline of the code development to deployment to Kubernetes, if this is covered, that will be useful for me, so I can go ahead for that. That's why
That is
I'm
what.
working with you. It will
Definitely.
be there, sir?
Yeah, that is there. Okay, don't worry about that.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fine, thank you. Any further questions from you guys?
Yeah, Chaitanya, this is Malesh.
Yeah, Malesh.
Yeah. Kubernetes are there, Docker also is there. This Kubernetes depends on the Docker. Why? Because in the Kubernetes we have many concepts like pods, deployments, statefulness, everything is there. Yeah, but you're saying that Docker containerization is depending on Kubernetes something. I don't have much knowledge, but I aware
See,
about
what I'm trying to explain you. Yeah. Let me complete this. You asked me a question. Let me complete this.
Yeah.
You asked me that in Kubernetes we are having the pods. Okay. What will be there inside the pods? You don't know about that, right? So we will come back to that. In the pods, we will be having the containers. So who will manage those containers? Docker will manage the containers. So in Kubernetes also, we need to have the Docker implementation. So without Docker or else without any containerized platform, I'm not saying only Docker. There are so many containerized platforms. Containerd, CRIO, Podman, Rocket, like that. We are having so many different kinds of containerized platforms. Among those containerized platform, we are using the Docker. On the top of that, we are running the Kubernetes to manage the containers. So this is the initial stages. So you don't need to worry about that. Once we are going into the main concept, you will slowly understand what is happening in the Kubernetes, what is happening in the Docker. Okay. So right now, what you need to understand here is Kubernetes. Docker is the base for running the Kubernetes. So just now you understand that once we go into the Docker and Kubernetes, you will get a clear picture of what is container, what is meant by Docker, what is meant by Kubernetes. Everything I will try to explain you, and then you will get a clarity about this configuration. Here the point what I need to mention is my trainings will not be like 15 days of trainings for Docker and Kubernetes. So only for Docker I'm going to take some 7 days of training or 6 days of training, and for Kubernetes I'm going to take some 20 sessions of training. It is not like only giving you the basic outline of Kubernetes. I want to give very in detail about the Kubernetes, so you don't need to worry about the configuration kind of things. Okay, is your question answered, Malesh?
Yeah. What you're saying that while using Kubernetes, Docker should be exist. You're saying that Docker engine.
Yeah, not only Docker, any containerized platform should exist. We are using the Docker as the containerized platform, containerization platform. Okay.
Yeah, hi.
Is it clear?
And so so what is the best CI/CD pipeline practice for AWS cloud?
I will come back to that. Not right now. So Eunice is about to ask something. I will come back to that. Anupam. Okay. Yeah. Eunice, your turn.
Hello, Sam.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
Hi,
It's me, Eunice. Yeah. It's me, Eunice. I'm a student for Docker and Kubernetes. But I need to enroll for Terraform and Jenkins. So I need to know which subject are you going to start first?
Terraform,
and then Jenkins or Docker is going to be?
Terraform, Docker, Kubernetes, and Jenkins. Finally, it will be the Jenkins.
All right. Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all.
hi.
That's okay. Yeah, no. Tell me.
Yeah, thank you. Good evening. Actually,
Good
I
evening.
have one question. So, you are going to show Istio completely. I mean, the gateway, virtual service, theory, all those topics.
Yeah, I will show you that.
Okay. Complete implementation, right?
Complete implementation will be discussed.
That's.
And one more thing I want to tell you, we have given you 35 days of course, but don't expect that it will be 35 days. It might be extended plus or minus for 35 days. It is going, you are taking more than 35 days. Don't expect in that kind of matter. It can be going beyond 45 days also. You need to be patient for completing the entire course.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, fine.
Fine.
Is all your questions answered, guys? Any questions from your end? Is the topic is clear what we have discussed? Of course, I just gave you a glimpse about software development lifecycle, not very in detail about all the tools. But once we have started the tools, I will let you understand about what is meant by Terraform, how we are going to create the HashiCorp language using Terraform, code with the Terraform. Everything we will discuss about that. But before I go into the topic, before I go into the requirements, Srinath, what is your question?
Sir, are we going to discuss any monitoring to integrate with the Kubernetes services or authentication? These are the two services.
See, you are asking me the entire DevOps. We are talking only about the 4 concepts, but here you are asking about the Git, you are asking about the monitoring tools. But yes,
monitoring Prometheus.
That's okay. Prometheus and Grafana, we are going to implement inside the Kubernetes itself. It's not a separately created tool. We will implement directly in the Kubernetes.
Okay. So even SSL also, it's a simple topic, right?
Yeah,
Integrating. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
That we will discuss.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? Okay. So now let me.
Sorry.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Here, while we're deploying Confluent Kafka on Kubernetes, this CI/CD pipeline is required.
CI/CD pipeline is not required. If you are having the GitOps, then you don't require any CI/CD pipeline. If you are configuring of Kubernetes, for that we need to have the Terraform, or also you need to install the cluster. For creating the cluster, we need to have the Terraform. But what is my consideration here? If you want to run an application, you created an application and then you want to do the thing. So for that, you don't require any CI/CD pipeline. If you are having the GitOps will do all the things. If you make any changes in the GitHub repository, automatically it can identify that and it is going to do the necessary requirements.
So this Terraform also connected by the DevOps team.
Yeah, it is going to be maintained by DevOps team itself.
As a Kafka admin, just deploying the Kafka on Kubernetes. That's by the stateful cells like that.
Yeah, you can do that.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, fine. Is that clear for everyone? Okay, fine. Now let me go with the requirements. What are the prerequisites that you need to learn? That you need to have. So one is the basic knowledge on AWS. Not the basic knowledge, you need to have the knowledge on AWS. That is the first requirement. And if you are having knowledge on Azure, don't ask me, sir, I am having a knowledge on Azure, or else I am having knowledge on GCP. Whatever you are having the knowledge, that's very good. But I am going to give the training on AWS environment. So I am requesting you to get a knowledge on AWS. If you are having the knowledge on AWS, that is more than enough. Later, that's it. Apart from this, we don't want anything precisely. Do I need to learn the coding? No need. So what we need to have here is you need to completely focus on Terraform, completely focus on AWS, and you need to have a very good exposure towards the Git. If you are having the Git knowledge, that's fine. If you don't have the Git knowledge, I will give you the basic understanding towards the Git. I am not going very in detail about the Git, but yes, 1 or 2 sessions I will cover the Git, and later we will go into the Terraform. Or else whenever I am telling the Terraform, in the Terraform session itself, I am going to include the Git, and then I will proceed ahead into the concept of Terraform, and later we will cover Docker and Kubernetes. Docker and Kubernetes, very interesting topic. And then we are going to discuss about Jenkins, CI/CD pipelining tool. Okay, so once we have completed this, your rest of the course will be completed, and this course will take 45 days. Actually, it is 35 days of course. Okay, but I will say that don't expect that the course will be completed within 35 working days. Make it like 40 to 45 working days. I can assure you on that. Okay, so let's see if that is going to happen within the 35 days. That is well and good. If it not, then you have to there for 40 to 45 working days. And then the session timings will be 4:30 p.m. IST to 6 o'clock IST. 6 p.m. IST. And later, what else I have to give? Certifications. You can do the certified Kubernetes administrator certification by completing this course. And later, if you are interested, you can do the Terraform certification also. These are the certifications that I can assure you by completing this course. I hope I made it very clear for you. Tomorrow we will start Terraform. Okay, basics of Terraform with Git. This is our concept. So for this, you need to have a minimum understanding towards the AWS. So tomorrow will be the last and final demo for your entire, like whatever the course that you are joining. So from what I can say, from 10th onwards, those who has enrolled for the course, they will be given with a new, new joining link. Into that link, you have to join. And then we will be discussing about lots and lots of topics. And I can assure you one thing, that we are going to complete the course within the time frame and with all the components covered. If there is anything that I am missing, please let me know about this. So I will try to cover the component also. So that's it from my end. If you have any further questions, you can ask me now. Last 5 minutes. Any questions?
Exactly, I have a query. So, will you use any tool to writing any Terraform script, or maybe just we will use
Very good. Visual Studio Code, VS Code. I'm going to use that tool.
Okay, and we will integrate with right other tools.
Yeah. Yes. Arnav, is your question clarified? You asked me something. I think I have given the answer for you. STO service mesh.
Yes.
Okay. Rudra, do you have any questions? Raja? Anyone?
Yeah. So quick question. So like not only theoretical knowledge, will we also have some projects from end to end for these?
One project will be given for you. Okay.
No. Do we implement the project in the course, or is it a separate thing?
It's a practical oriented session. I won't say it's a project oriented course. Why? Because if I take a project, in that project, I don't use the stateful sets. I need to tell you about that topic? Do you understand do you understand my thing here? So if I say, I don't want to use the stateful set. So in Kubernetes, there is a concept called a stateful set. Okay. Or else in Kubernetes, for the project, I don't want to tell you about node port. I will use the load balancer in Kubernetes. Then what I can do, I can simply skip the node port, right? Or else in the Kubernetes, for example, I don't want you to tell about resource allocations. Or else I don't want to tell you about the storage allocations. So persistent volume claims is more than enough. So in that, I don't want to include the EBS volumes. I don't want to include the EFS volumes. Then what you are going to do? So whoever are expecting the projects, don't expect the projects in the DevOps. Don't expect the project in the DevOps in the sense, when you go for an interview, the interviewer will ask you, why? Because I am also a panel member. Okay. So now if anybody comes to the interview, I will ask only one question. What is the latest tool that you used in the DevOps? That's my question. Did I ask you about any project? No one, whenever you are attending for a DevOps interview, no one will ask you about the project. Everyone will ask you about the tools. What is the latest tool that you have used? Sir, I use the Kubernetes. Okay. So what is meant by pod? What is meant by deployment? What is meant by service? What is meant by ingress controller? What is meant by RBAC? How you are going to create the users in Kubernetes? How you are going to work with the probes? How you are going to work with the advanced scheduling components like pod affinity, node affinity, anti-affinity. So like that, we are going to ask you the questions. Apart from this, there is nothing to ask you related to the project. So if I say we have a banking application, okay, do you understand the code? If you are a developer, you will understand the code. But for DevOps engineer, he doesn't need to understand the code. He need to understand the application. What is the application, on which version of runtime that is running? For example, if I'm running a Java application, on which version of Java the application has to run? So I have to build the application. That things I need to understand. Apart from this, why I need to tell you about all the project. And DevOps engineers will be working on multiple projects. Which project I have to tell you? Okay. So when you go for an interview, in the interviews also, the interviewers will not ask you about the project. They will ask you about the tools. So learn in detail about the tools, not the projects. In projects, we can skip multiple tools. So many people, so many trainers can skip the tools. I don't want to skip the tools. I want to make sure that every tool you are going to learn. Okay, at least the basic tools related to the Kubernetes you need to learn. So why? Because lots of companies will use lots of tools. Every tool I cannot integrate into the codes. Okay, so for that reason, we are going for a core concept from the scratch. Am I clear with this, guys? Everyone, am I clear?
Yes.
Or
Yes, sir.
Yep.
okay, those who are attending to my previous session, they know about my training methods, training methodology, how I am going to train the candidates. Okay, so you can check with them. Anyways, coming back to the point, don't worry about the course. We will definitely going to complete in detail with a clear-cut analysis, clear-cut understanding towards what we have learned and what you are about to learn. Everything we are going to cover in detail. Okay, so that's it from my end. Have a nice day. We will meet tomorrow and discuss about the Git and Terraform. Have a nice day and bye, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.